Okay. Kayla got the 111, number 111. Sipping lemonade, throwing like shade. Okay. Major88Keys.
Hey everybody, it's Kayla Got 411. I'm back for another What's Good episode. I'm here with hit producer Major88Keys. I like to ask everybody what's good with you since the segment is called What's Good. What's good with you? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm busy. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you.
You are on tour. You guys, he's on tour. He is working, which, a black man out here working. We always...
Never not working. Never not working.
So how did you get through the whole pandemic situation with working? Like, did it stop your bag or did you just keep working?
No, like anybody else that's an entrepreneur or any business or brand or artist or anybody like that, producer, I just had to learn how to roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? Basically still do what I do, but do it under the new, restrictions and everything like that. And then also just get a little bit clever when it comes to promotion and marketing as well, because a lot of interacting physically wasn't going on. So for most of us, we still needed to somewhat interact with either our fan base or our following or whatever. So it was just that time for us to get more creative, and that was definitely with streaming. Streaming, whether it was streaming concerts, streaming shows, streaming all of that kind of stuff. But then also from the producer side and engineer side, like platforms like Session Wire and stuff like that came about. And what that is so creatives can work remotely. So I can be in Atlanta and a client can be over in London, and we can still do a studio or a writing session, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
whatever,
cool.
So it's just for those that, yeah.
I've never heard of that. I know I talked to another producer that was on this show like in the earlier pandemic, and it seemed like they was having a kind of a struggle getting people in the studio. So it seemed like a lot of them were utilizing YouTube, putting out, beats and stuff like that so people can purchase. So it seemed like a lot of producers really had to like, okay, let me get socialized and get on social media.
Yeah, because a lot of producers ain't real social like that. So
I done met a few, and they're a little, introverted. They're a little introverted, but y'all be talented though. I feel like people who are like silent people, those be the people that get in their bag, they get in their zone, and they make amazing work. So you are Major88Keys. Now, how did you come up with that name? Because I did see you was born in 1988. I did my research.
Yeah, and that's the ironic part, and that wasn't even a part of my process of coming up with my name. But the name Major88Keys is in music theory, major is a scale. We got major, minor, and things of that nature. And like I went through a couple of like minor this or man, I was like, nah, that didn't sound good. That sucks. So major is part of a scale, and then 88 is 88 keys on a full piano. So so I just put the
that worked out in your favor. Literally.
Yeah.
Make sure you play
the finish.
that lottery number, that eights. That seemed real lucky. That seemed very, very lucky. So did you grow up having a musical background since you was a little kid?
Oh yeah, definitely. I grew up in church, you know what I'm saying? Like most of the greats, you know what I'm saying? Grew up in church. My dad's a pastor, things of that nature. Our first I guess gift I would say I had was singing. I was singing at like a young age, like singing in the choirs and all of that kind of stuff. But then my voice was light, so I was like the only male in like the soprano section. And by trade, you know what I'm saying, they just put all males, you know what I'm saying, in the tenor section. And I'm like, that's not my section.
I know
I don't hit
they
that.
over there with the altos and the tenors when I was in the choir. And I was like, this is embarrassing. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, and I'm all like, my voice ain't that deep. I don't hit those notes. I'm like, I'm really a soprano. But after a while, I kind of segued out the choir and became a drummer at the age of like 12 or something like, yeah, about 12. And I was, got out the choir and started. Then that's when my musician career started. Played the drums, and then by the age of like 16-ish, I started playing the piano. And then eventually moved on to like playing like the organ because I'm at church now. So I don't like the piano and the organ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then now, of course, I play the guitar, the lead, the electric guitar.
Whoa, like, you really are talented because I don't really know a lot of producers these days, no shade, that actually can play live instruments.
No, and like that's what honestly got me in the game. I kind of share this a lot of times with people. What got me in the game was like now they call it, loops, how producers send out loops or whatever.
Right.
But back before I got in the industry, like around 2014 and all of that, I was being flown out to like Atlanta and LA to play that stuff live, you know what I'm saying, for producers, you know what I mean? And then like they would finish out the beat, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't making beats. I didn't know how to even make beats, but I was a very good musician. So they call that basically an in-session musician, you know what I'm saying? And that was basically, I was basically doing work for hire type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know what I was doing. I just know I was playing. They flew me out. They put money in my pocket, putting me up. You know what I'm saying? They doing what they supposed to do. But as far as like the business side on the back end, I definitely didn't know what I was really doing. Like what I know what I'm like now. And I was like, I probably got some records that's probably collecting or hidden on whatever that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't probably play it on that like I just don't even know about no more. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure you learned from it. I think we all are students to the game. And speaking of being a student to the game, who are some producers that you kind of admire their work coming up? Oh, you don't have any. It's okay to say you ain't got the.
I mean, I really, it's like it's some producers that like I more so like used to like look up to as far as like I like what they brought to the culture, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the weirdness that Pharrell had, you know what I'm saying? But also I still like Kanye. You know what I'm saying? I still like even Zaytoven, like on some more like of the modern day, but yeah, still like the pioneer kind of, cause like he's not new school all the way, but he's not like, you know what I mean? But like because we both grew up in church, kind of like we both got like a similar background. So like when people used to hear me play like these trap beats, quote unquote, they were like, "Damn boy, you sound like Zay T on that." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, little do y'all know, I'm just like, really, that's just some gospel playing for real. You know what I'm saying? I ain't down playing it, but I was just like in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, y'all Muslims don't really go to church then, because y'all went to church, y'all would hear multiple people that could play like this. You know what I'm saying?
Black church, because I'm telling you, I grew up singing in the choir, and they really be having you in there about to like just turn up. You be done forgot where you at. So
right.
Who grew up in the South, our churches are a little bit more different. You know, everybody's having a good time. It's a celebration. So
facts.
Yeah, so I don't think they really get it. Now, I was on Twitter and I seen a tweet that said that pretty much producers are the real goats of the music industry. So do you think that the music industry gives producers and others the credit that they deserve?
I'm gonna say yes and no. And I'm gonna more so lean toward the no. Like on some like maybe 60-40, so I'm probably say 70-30, you know what I'm saying? But regardless of what the percentage of it is, I would still say yes and no, but more still on the no side. Start with the good. I say yeah because like now more even the consumer is concerned about who produced that record, who, you know what I'm saying, who made that beat, you know what I'm saying, the consumer. not the players or the who's. We kind of know who really did what and things of that nature, but so not to downplay it, but them. I always talk about the consumer because that's who we're doing this for. And once the consumer started to care, it seemed like then the industry started to care more. You know what I'm saying? Of putting them out there or their name out there. You know what I'm saying? Cool,
Yeah.
but I said that to say they do and they don't. But on the business side, the producers don't have as much control, but they do. They're gaining more control because they're doing more on the split sheet. What I mean by that is they're not just the beat maker. You know what I'm saying? With them being the producer or even the executive producer, that means they're overseeing the whole record or project in its totality, from the songwriting to either the songwriting or the songwriters, making of the beat, picking of the beat, helping the producer, whatever the structure, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those categories. So you know what I'm saying? But
So
it's getting better. But it's getting better now.
it's
It's getting
definitely
better now.
it's getting better because I'm the type of person, I love music so much I can kind of listen to a song and I can kind of be like, okay, I already know which producer made that song. They have their own unique sound, and I had a little debate with someone because somebody was saying that a particular rapper sounds the same. They say they flow sound the same. And I kept saying, no, it's not the rapper, it's the producer. That's their go-to producer. They have their own unique sound. So every time you hear this artist, it sounds like they're sounding the same, but it's that producer's unique sound. So do you ever heard something like that where you think that the producer has his own unique sound, that everything that they make starts to sound the same?
Now I will tell you this. That's a yes and a no too. And I'm definitely not gonna throw no names out there because
Yeah, I'm not
so
either. I don't feel like getting into no mess. I ain't in the mood.
yeah, not today. I ain't even gonna do it, sorry. But look, I will say yes and no. So the yes part is yes, because they do maybe have a certain producer that they are locked in with, that's they go to. Bow, ain't nothing wrong with that. Now on the side of that, then that also plays a producer too. And I ain't trying to give away too much sauce or nothing like that from a producer perspective, but I do know a lot of producers work within certain templates to where having a template, it kind of almost forces you to make beats that kind of sound alike because you're utilizing a certain template maybe of sounds or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're making different melodies or whatever, the
Right.
beats all coming out sounding kind of the same because you're using the same sound selection.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so next time I have my debate, I can make sure I use the information that you gave me to relate it. Okay, that
But
makes
in
sense.
my and then I'll throw two more points out. Well, no, just one more point because the other one's more personal opinion. But the second one is a lot of producers, which they are now, but a lot of producers didn't used to do a lot of collaborating, which that also changed production too. The more collaborating now, it's like, oh, I got stuff that you don't got, and now that we making a beat or a record, you know what I'm saying? We're both adding saying to it. So that's something that's changing also. More producers are definitely collaborating more, which at
Okay.
first they didn't used to do that.
And speaking of collaboration, like when you are creating music, is it your goal to pretty much get your music in the hands of a bigger artist, or you don't really care? You don't care who it is, as long as they're talented and they're willing to work, you're ready to work with them. Like, what's your approach?
I got well, let me say this. When I first got in, my approach was I was a musician first, obviously. And then the transitioning from a musician to a producer, I was just wanting to showcase that, hey, I'm a producer, but bruh, I'm a musician. Like you said, producers of today don't really play anything. Even the top producers of today don't even play an instrument. And if they do, they don't even play it fluently. They just pick at it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah.
Okay, I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Well, I got what you're saying. Like, I like the fact that I get what you're saying because I enjoy music and I'm really heavy into learning. So I get what you're saying. I get the reason why you pause too, because sometimes people can definitely take it very personal. And moving on to the next topic as well. Do you believe in studio etiquette? And if you do, what are some do's and don'ts that artists need to know before they go into the studio?
Ooh, yes. I definitely believe in studio etiquette. Well, let me give out this disclaimer right here because I do know a lot of different people in different walks of life and in different situations. So disclaimer, if you can afford to be in the studio, then by all means, you can throw out everything I'm gonna say as far as studio etiquette in a way. But if you can afford to pay for the studio time, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Because again, that's why studios, we have multiple people like myself, we have interns, we have, you know what I'm saying? So if we have different level of clients that let's just say they just in here because they taking a long time to actually do something because they can't do nothing at their other spot location. So they need to be in the studio, like I said, to really work and get creative, which those sessions are longer and feel drawn out. So, you know what I'm saying? I may not feel like doing that, but I maybe start it or something and then let one of my interns come in or whatever, and then kind of finish out the session and maybe pop back in an hour or two later. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But ultimately, studio etiquette, let's just talk about ultimately. Ultimately, you will want to come in knowing your lyrics. One of the main things I tell, and I can hear it all the time from artists, I'll be like, you reading your phone, ain't you? And I'm most of the time, man, some of the booths, I'm not looking at the artists or I can't even see them.
Right.
So I can just hear the way they're articulating their words or talking, that you reading from a screen versus just saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, so one, knowing your words. Don't come to the studio with a lot of people.
I was hoping you said that because I had somebody invite me to the studio. I was like, why are all these people here? Like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, this ain't right.
And again, every artist is different. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody remember scenes from the movie with like maybe Tupac and Biggie. Both of them Negroes had a whole bunch of people in their studio sessions. Granted, they got work. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, ultimately though, because even how I work, I don't like a lot of people in the studio.
Okay.
Especially if they don't have nothing to do with
what's going on,
the creative process, or if they ain't the person that's paying me at the beginning or the end of the session. Okay. I mean, because if they the money in the building, by all means, have a seat, sir, ma'am. You want something to drink? You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, but 8 guys, 10 guys standing behind me with woo, no, sir, not here.
Okay,
you know
I like
saying? Not.
Because as we said earlier, some guys, they may be a little bit more quieter, so they may not say anything, but they may be uncomfortable. So hopefully this will let artists know, don't bring your girlfriend and then all 5 of her homegirls, and then they go bring another homegirl. Well, females, you probably don't mind if it's females.
And again, see, that we don't mind it, but that's even a certain level of like, hey now. Like, I done a couple times I done had to put people +1s out just because they was doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, they was just doing too much. You know what I'm saying? One particular time, one was too much of a fan. All right, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Another one, the other time, I only did it like a couple times because I'm really not that person. So for me to really do that, like you really gotta be just like really, really just doing the most. And the
Right.
other time, like I said, I did it. She was cool. She was giving input, but she was giving too much input.
I know people like that. They're like,
So it was like wow, if you really, which I do like to listen to consumers because they are consumers. That's why I
right.
do listen to regular people. I listen to everybody's perspective because everybody got a perspective that's relevant. But I may not need that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
And yeah, she.
like tell when you're doing too much, like, okay, you can just your input is no longer needed. Yeah. I don't miss it's like, okay, we good. We good.
Like I heard the first couple. Thank you.
Right. All right, exactly. So now let's take a moment to get to know you as Major88Keys. Now, I want you to give me 8 reasons. Okay, 8 keys to success for you.
Ooh, 8 keys to success for me.
Gotta use 8. 8 is the lucky number. I'm gonna play that tomorrow.
All right. Well, definitely uh, planning.
Mhm.
I'm a planner um, to the fullest, for real, for real. Most of the things I do, I normally be successful in them because I normally have a plan.
Right.
And of course, all plans aren't foolproof. That's why you even got a plan for that. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So planning. Before I move, I plan. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So plan, y'all. Don't be afraid to plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Organize, organization. I'm big on organization and time management. So that would be 3. But organization is definitely huge just because being you know what I'm saying, like self-managed or whatever, things of that nature. And then I just recently obtained some management, you know what I'm saying, with 4-4 management, things of that nature. And we working on some things, putting some things together out there in Atlanta. So, you know, stay tuned for that. But at the same time, organization plays a huge part into, like I said, the third one, which was time management,
Mhm.
because we all got 24 hours in a day, the same 24, but everybody don't utilize they 24 the same. So
Right.
that's what's making it different. Um, um, Awareness. A lot of the things that go on, you got to be aware, and I'm mainly aware of a lot of stuff that go on because I deal with a lot of industry stuff. So I just got to be like conscious and aware of. And I ain't gonna be super paranoid and say everything, but
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Cancer, June 25th.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm a Libra, but my rising sign is Cancer. I don't trust nobody. I'm always on alert everywhere I go. I really am. So, if I just
That's why you had to ask me. She's like, what's your sign?
yeah, I want to know people. What's your sign? What's your sign? Okay, that makes sense. And I think in this industry, especially, I've learned being a female, you just gotta be aware. You just can't be careless. It just moving all types of crazy. Like times have changed. You cannot. So that's very great advice, especially to producers who be signing their life away. You don't even know what you're signing. Like,
And that's why, like, I'm glad, like, when I did do some things in the industry, like the earlier stuff, like I said, I was an in-session musician, so I was just playing for a little stuff and da 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 da. I'm kind of glad I did it then because I wasn't a producer. I always tell people like those were my whack years. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I wasn't doing nothing. Like I wasn't like I've always been a musician, so I could always make melodies. That's not a problem. I can do that. Sleep with crust in my eye.
Right.
But the business side of it, of learning what I'm actually doing, is something totally different. That it's like, oh, okay, and that's what I'm more so educating, teach producers now is about, because I'm still getting help too. So like, I'm not trying to make it seem like I got all the answers and you know what I'm saying. I'm at where I want to even be, but I've after 2016, after being with good music and being self-managed and everything after that point on, these
Wait,
were those things. These were
you was
those things that helped me. Huh?
you was with good music?
Yep, from 2014 to 16.
Oh, that was an era there. Okay. Wow, okay. Had to make sure we run that back so people can know, just in case they let that slide by. Okay. Learned a lot. Okay. I think we all remember that era. Okay, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I bring it up every so often, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how this industry goes, man. People don't care what you used to do. They care about what you're doing now, you know what I mean? And all of that kind of stuff like that. Like, but it's part of the history though. So, you know what I'm
Right. Everybody has a history, and everybody, you should want to have something like that on your resume. If anybody got a problem with it, they just hate us. That's all.
saying? Nah, you know how the people is.
So we got 4, so we need 4 more.
All right. Hey, man, kind of like what my hat say, y'all can't see it, but it say trap, and what that stands for is take risk and prosper. So, you know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
that's
I mean,
dope.
you know what I
Hey,
mean?
okay. I think that's
Yeah.
great. Definitely great when it comes not just for producers, anybody who's starting a business in media. Like that's great advice. So all the things that you did list are not just containing to music, but just everyday life, especially
Oh
people who are
yeah.
doers and build yourself up when you are self-made. So I think that's great advice. So of course I had to have you list your name is Major88Keys, of course. Had to do that. So what
So
do you have
yeah.
for the 2022 year? We're about to enter a new year. Like what do you have coming up? Give us a 411.
I'm saying with the new management for the four, building a new studio facility that we're gonna be, opening up pretty soon, like at the top of the year type of thing. That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be crazy. I also have a music academy, ITSC Music Academy, where we teach like instrument training, uh, digital audio workstation, uh,
That's dope.
putting more energy into, because like being a producer, like I tell people, music is everywhere. So producers and including myself, and I got attached to chasing placements that
Mm.
I felt like, oh, if I'm not working with an artist, I'm not gonna make no money. You know what I'm saying? Or if I don't make a song, I'm not gonna make no money. And it was like I really got like brainwashed to thinking that, and it's like that's the furthest of the truest
Mm.
thing. And like, so now I'm really on like, oh, okay, let me be more about all the streams of music, you know what I'm saying? From video game, like I had the privilege of creating, doing a sound design project with this toy company. I can't say because of course, I'm saying, I signed a non-disclosure, but to do, make 250 sounds for this toy company. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my
Oh,
first time doing it, which was weird, different,
yeah.
loved it, but it was something new to add to the, and to not just my skill set, but like, the resume and things of that nature, like again, non-artist needed music,
Mm.
even with making beat tapes. Streaming is amazing. Like I just looked up recently, just because we were in the Christmas time, this is just a little free game. I looked up Christmas, like me and my creative director, shout out to him, man, Luke Key. We was listening. We put up like a fireplace or like some Christmas music, something, and the streams was outrageous. Like
Oh,
the,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like So like holiday related music or theme music, like all of that. So there's so much music that's out there that you don't need an artist, and you can make a lot of money doing it.
So true. And I feel like these days the industry is so rocky and shaky. It's like you can't really depend on everybody. You gotta have different streams of income. And I like the fact it seems like our generation are noticing that also. Like nobody just sitting there like, oh my God, I hope this artist emailed me back. They said they were gonna call me back. Like nobody's waiting around for artists. Either you want to work or you don't. There's so much more money out here to be made. So I think that's great advice. But it was so dope talking to you. How was that? See, we did this in the car. Boom.
This was lovely. I'm glad we went through it.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm gonna edit it up. It's gonna be dope. But it was so great talking to you. I like talking to producers. Especially I'm gonna be talking to more producers going into the new year because I feel like you producers, you all are kind of the heart of a record. And I think you all make so many dope songs and don't nobody even know who the producer is behind the song. Like people be shocked when they find out, like, what? Like you produced that? People be so shocked. So thank you so much for
I talked to some producers that be acting like, oh man, I don't be trying to, man, I be all right, man, that's clout, man. I ain't trying to clash, man. I'm like, bro, it ain't about the clout, bro. Cause at the end of the day, like you just said, if a motherfucker, you can walk in the mall and motherfucker be, your song could be playing in the whole mall, like just on the plane, and niggas wouldn't know that you made it because you want somebody, man. I ain't on that type of shit, man. Niggas ain't gotta know who I am. And I feel and I understand where people be coming from with that because I've even been approached on some other shit. So like I know what it means to be on that radar. And some people ain't trying to be on that radar.
Yeah, some people don't even want to be in the forefront, and I definitely get that. But I think that every now and then you gotta remind people like I'm the shit.
For those people, that's why I tell people they gotta just formulate a digital imprint. That way you ain't gotta talk to nobody.
Yeah. I went on your website.
But your work is still out there though. But that way your work is still out there to where like, oh dang, at this point if a motherfucker didn't know that you did, they just didn't look it up. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to you
I found out history by looking you up. I was like, okay, boom. Everything was there.
Yeah, and that's what and being self-managed, like that was one of my biggest things that I prided my brand on is how well does the brand look? Not me as an individual, how well does the brand look? Like how well does the social media translate? Does the website make sense? You know what I'm saying? Not on no cocky shit, but can you just type in Major88Keys anywhere and will it pop up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just how relevant is the brand, period. Like, that's all.
When I Google myself just to make sure everything's okay on those first 2 pages. I do the same way. Yeah. I feel like it depends on when you build your brand and you are in the face of your brand, like you're not about to let anybody come in and mess it up. And I think in particular people, you seem like a very creative, you're very hands-on into your brand where I can tell just by talking to you that nobody's going to come in and mess things up because this is your brand. You have taken control. And I think more artists and creators should definitely use that as a bit of dope.
And they do. They want to, but that's why those that are signed to the label, that's why I say it'd be a big deal when it's known that an artist got like creative control over their project or whatever, because labels turn artists into puppets. So
okay, that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother day.
Hey y'all, just want to say thank you so much for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course hit that subscription button. I am grateful for every view, whether you like me or you don't. And don't forget, I got a podcast too. There are exclusive episodes on that podcast, so don't forget to go check that out as well. They're on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Baby, I'm everywhere, okay? And follow me on social media. I'm Kayla Got the 411 on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr. Baby, like I said, I'm everywhere. Thank you again for watching the show, and I'll see you on the next episode of Kayla Got the 411.